Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some very intriguing news when it comes to the next upcoming Xbox console. Now, this is more so in regards to the consoles that are going to be coming up after the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S, or as well also could maybe be in regards to the Xbox Series X Pro and Xbox Series S Pro. Think like the next mid-tier generation when it comes to the console itself. We actually have some leaks, we have some data miners, and as well some interesting stuff that also might be in regards to Pro controllers and other stuff too as well, all in the Xbox ecosystem. Now, as you guys know, this information is a little bit more on the earlier side, obviously, but even say for the PlayStation 6 or PS5 Pro, right now they are working on that and obviously are going to be testing on it too as well. If you guys want to use a good example, think like the GPUs. Right now the equivalent's probably around like a nice like 2000 series for most of the actual consoles right now, and we're working towards the 4000 series. So right now it's definitely not out of the picture that we'll be seeing an Xbox Series X Pro, next Xbox, and PlayStation 5 in the near future, and all these leaks kind of go and affirm it. So we're going to talk about some of the data miners that actually had a chance to go and see some of the stuff for the Xbox, and as well a lot of very intriguing news when it comes to the future of the next Xbox. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Twitter link down below for the PlayStation 5 giveaway too as well if you guys want easy entries. Twitch stream down below if you guys want to hang out and chill as we talk about games. Got that Weeble, got that Coinbase all down below, and definitely leave a like and your speculations down below because let's go and talk about it. So we actually are now seeing some articles and data mines and everything all throughout this weekend discussing the brand new next code name of the next Xbox product. So basically, Keystone could now be officially the name of the next Xbox console, which basically data miners now discovered a secret new Xbox product. So basically with this one, a data miner has uncovered evidence now that Microsoft is working on a secret product that may be the next iteration of the Xbox. The Xbox Series X and S may have only been out for a little bit more than a year, although at this point it's getting about to a year and a half, which is, in all honesty, if you kind of see a lot of Pro consoles like 3 or 4 years in, so we're almost kind of at the halfway mark, which is still why it's crazy that so many people are still trying to find and get their Xboxes and PlayStations at this point. So basically for this one, Microsoft is likely already working hard on their successor. And if you guys saw a video we maybe made maybe like a week ago, 2 weeks ago or so, we were also seeing some secret shipments coming from Sony, from basically like Japan and other basic types of like production areas, to go and maybe be alluded towards either the PSVR 2 or the PS5 Pro being sent away. Now, we don't necessarily know for sure, but it's kind of intriguing to go and see for this one as we kind of go through the article. So basically data miner Tero Alaninen shared a list of Xbox products on Twitter, highlighting one entry in particular, which was the product Xbox Keystone. Alahinan doesn't say where he found the product listing or offer any comments on what he suspects Keystone refers to. However, this is kind of the big news for this one. However, the two entries above Keystone may offer a clue: Durango and Scarlet. Now, those might be kind of some weird things where basically the Durango ate your baby, but at the same time for this one, it kind of seems like a lot of these big companies usually like to use specific code names to go and classify what their next upcoming consoles are. If they don't want to be calling it Xbox One X, they want to be calling it code Scarlet. They want to be calling it code, John Smith. Whatever it is, to basically let people have to speculate and guess just a little bit more. Or also sometimes just the names themselves just haven't been made yet, which would make sense too, because sometimes we get things like the Xbox One X to the Xbox Series X. Sorry, Xbox, I'm sorry. But basically, you should continue your excitement, though, as well, because also other console code names, Anaconda and Lockhart, which were actually the names for the Xbox Series X and Series S, are actually both missing from the list. So very quickly, this could be a few, like a little mixture of things. Number one, could maybe even be a possible new Xbox product. So think, how they keep on trying to push the cloud servers. There's always a big chance with that. There's always a chance to try to make maybe like a more of like a handheld thing, like the Steam Deck, Switch Pro, etc., etc. Always a chance with that, or maybe type of iPad type thing as well to go maybe play games, or maybe something to do with more of the cloud. Always a possibility with that. And as well, also could maybe be in mid-generation, which they cover up in the article over here, saying without any more to go on with all these kind of brand new names. And there's a reason why. There's always a reason why they code name it and change the name, obviously. So for this one, it's difficult to say what the Keystone is, but right now we're on the speculation side. They could be thinking it's a mid-generation upgrade, maybe, like the Xbox One X, or the codename for the next generation of Xbox consoles, and that would explain the absence of Anaconda and Lockhart at least. So basically kind of what they're saying is that if it was going to be like, say, an Xbox Series X Pro, it'd be like Anaconda Pro, or Lockhart Pro, or like Lockhart 2, Lockhart Iteration 2, stuff like that, instead of a brand new key name, which is kind of what usually happens for the next next generation of consoles. So Scarlet was the name for the family of consoles, not the consoles themselves. Microsoft likely is already working on its next console iterations, even though the Xbox Series X and S are only a little over a year old. Hardware development is a long process, so while we may not see new consoles for several years, that's not to say Microsoft hasn't started developing on that too as well. Which I think is always kind of a big thing to know. Because like we said, usually if you ever look at like, say the PS3 and PS3 Slim to like PS4 to PS4 Pro, especially nowadays where technology keeps on moving so fast and games keep on trying to push it to the next level, and especially I would say PC gaming is a really big front runner when it comes to graphics. So basically right now a PC gaming, if we have a 4000 series card, can be running like 4K at 60 FPS and also like super high cool settings, or even at some points maybe 4K 144 Hz, which is unheard of right now for consoles. So basically, these big console makers don't want to be too far behind, because what would stop someone just from always buying a PC? Xbox is okay with that, obviously, and at this point, Sony's slowly warming up to it because they are selling their games up on Steam, but it still is kind of a big money mover for their consoles. So basically, head of Xbox, Phil Spencer himself, also has not ruled out a mid-generation upgrade either. On the top of the Xbox Series X redesign, he said, "There's nothing that's going to come out next year that's going to make you feel like, oh, I should have waited." But that kind of makes sense too, because with all the like production issues, semiconductor issues, shipping issues, cargo issues, right now there's still a lot of folks who don't even have their Xboxes or PlayStations as of right this second. It makes sense. You probably want to more so wait for your current consumers to get your consoles, because at that point, if you're over flooding the products, what's the point? So basically, it's kind of a good example, maybe like, say, an iPhone. If you have the iPhone 12, do you really need to have the iPhone 14? In theory, not really. It's close enough. But if you go from the iPhone 12 to maybe iPhone 17, at that point, 5 years on in, you're maybe thinking, well, my phone's getting a little bit on the slower side, a little bit more on the mediocre side, battery life's not as good. Let's maybe make that jump. And right now, people still can't even go and find and buy the Xbox Series S, and people are still trying to go and buy from scalpers for the PS5, Xbox, whatever. Obviously, the demand is there, so there's no real reason for them to go next gen yet. But obviously, they're probably working on it, and they're trying to make it nice and perfect. So there's also a good reason, too, to believe that the Keystone isn't a traditional console. And that's what I kind of mentioned, too, as well before, where it could also be even for an Xbox streaming stick, which would make a lot of sense, as I mentioned before, with the cloud gaming, where cloud gaming is a big focus for all these big businesses, even PlayStation, even Xbox, even Steam, everywhere else, think Google Stadia, and et cetera, where they want people to be able to go play their games at any point. Say for Game Pass, they want you just paying for Game Pass. They don't really want you to have to go and spend $500 on a console. Because if you think about it, you spend $500 for a console, they have to worry about making it, shipping it, if they're making any money, fixing it, warranties. If you buy something like an Xbox streaming stick, at that point, you just have to basically just go and make sure you could plug it into a computer, plug it into a TV, and be good to go. So if I was a business, that's what I want to go and do, because you're getting that automatic subscription fee, and it's kind of making good money. But as well, it's where I never want to go put against it for the Xbox Pro or the Xbox like next generation, because they're always working on those. As we even mentioned too, it could always be on the next generation for it, because we also were hearing rumors on the Xbox Series S Pro wanting to launch a little bit earlier and have a little bit more of an affordable style with a slightly more upgraded graphics. That rumor's been going and flown around for quite a bit of time. So this is with Microsoft's significant investment in Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Cloud Gaming, a dongle you can plug into your TV and use to stream games is highly likely to be in development. Liz Hamren, CVP of Gaming Experiences and Platforms at Xbox, revealed Microsoft is developing standalone streaming services. So once again, this would kind of make a lot of sense for this to maybe be the next product, but as well, maybe have that in combination with the Xbox, because it is kind of smart that Microsoft's trying to have a one big ecosystem system where you either have your PC, you have your Xbox, you have your Xbox Series S, or as well maybe you're like just maybe like your random streaming device, and you're just essentially always on the Xbox ecosystem no matter where you're at. Same with also when it comes to Windows. So very, very intriguing to go and see. And of course, for this one, while the Keystone is an Xbox product, and also maybe a codename for something that isn't a physical device too as well, like a brand new service. Although, as we know, they're trying to push more on the Xbox Game Pass too. But I'm going to probably put my guy, I'm always like more on the glass half full type of guy. I like the idea of maybe seeing an Xbox Series X Pro or the next generation console too as well being slowly worked on. Although the options are always up there and available. So kind of give me your thoughts and comments down below, and kind of give me all of your just, I guess, speculations all throughout today. I appreciate appreciate you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc, digital console, and controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well, linked down below. Use that Twitter link down below to also enter into the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Xbox Series X's are always kind of nice too as well, but we'll give one out next time. We have the Weeble and comments as well down below. And again, I'll give you all your thoughts and comments on this one, because it's always fun news to get to go and see.